In a world dominated by 3D graphics, pixel art might seem like a relic of the past. But what if I told you that pixel art isn't just about nostalgia? In this video, I'll show you why pixel art can be a superior choice. Let's dive into games where pixel art truly shines. Pixel art at its core is a form of digital art where each pixel is intentionally placed, creating images that are visibly pixelated. While all raster graphics are made of pixels, pixel art embraces this visibility. In today's gaming world, it's a bold artistic decision, often chosen for its nostalgic charm and unique aesthetics. But why do developers continue to use pixel art in an era dominated by high-definition graphics? Let's explore the artistic and practical reasons behind this enduring style. Pixel art is primarily used by smaller studios to speed up development. It does not, however, affect the quality at all, as proven by Songs of Conquest. These games, with right direction, can be equally or even more beautiful than 3D and traditional 2D graphics. Porting such games to mobile phones or potentially handhelds is not a big problem either. Pixel art is not as heavy on performance and hardware as 3D models. Songs of Conquest relies on 3D backgrounds, dynamic lighting, and reflections to make the graphics shine. 2D assets are placed on 3D terrain. However, the assets do not have to be drawn with 3D space in mind. Dynamic light and reflections made in the game's engine Unity make the map more immersive and less boring in the long run. This captivating art style is a result of years of exploration and prototyping. Lava Potion, the developers of Songs of Conquest, learned from their muses' mistakes. Heroes of Might and Magic. The series switched from 2D to 3D and lost its readability. 3D also ages poorly with technological advancement, unlike 2D graphics, which often increase games' lifespan. This is a very big problem with Heroes 5. While town screens are considered one of the best in the series, low-resolution textures, simple 3D models, and cheap visual effects stand out after all these years. The map suffers from 3D as it's harder to navigate. These problems are mostly avoided in Songs of Conquest. If handled properly, this vintage, simplified view is a beauty of its kind. One could even say that seeing every pixel makes him closer to the creators and their work. Witnessing how objects are made down to their core also makes everything look sharp, detailed, and feel handcrafted. Pixelated graphics are more limited than traditional 2D graphics. They limit an artist's expression and also limit what the player can see. This is extremely valued in horror games. Games like these have a unique feeling and invoke different kind of fear. When the environment and enemies are not realistic but pixelated, the human mind has to fill in the blanks. Darkwood utilizes pixel art and top-down perspective by using fog of war-like field of view. Things are hinted to change when they are out of your sight. Constantly moving pixels affect the imagination and make you feel uneasy. To me, such games are way scarier than AAA realistic titles. Pixel art and low poly let imagination run wild. Some developers use simple graphics for a specific purpose. Simplifying liquids and objects to structures made of pixels let them create dynamic destruction systems with little performance loss. Broforce lets you destroy most of its map. Sometimes a random falling block kills your enemy, or you. Noita has a system of mixing and evaporating liquids. You can put out the fire on your body by swimming in blood. This results in very interesting dynamic gameplay. This amount of detail and destruction would be way harder to create in 3D and even 2D. In pixel art, the game can calculate each square for simplified yet realistic mechanic. Pixel art is also commonly used in platformers and hard games for precision. In games like Dark Souls, it's not entirely obvious where hitboxes start and end. They are often unintuitive because of 3D space, requiring some simplifications in detecting collision or damage. This results in unintuitive, often unfair, and uneven challenges. Sometimes you get hit by an attack that wouldn't normally make contact, or even straight up you teleport into it. Meanwhile, in pixelated games, players rarely face such issues, as colliders often just cover the image. This supports the challenge by making the rules very clear. It tells the player how precise their movements have to be. It also supports responsiveness by, once again, not using many resources. Creation of such assets may be difficult for artists unused to the technique. Limited amount of pixels may make the asset unclear and it can make movements wobbly. Attempts at creating gradients risk turning colors into a muddy mess. Even when the artist is experienced, some objects might just not be suitable for pixel art. That's why pixel art is a separate technique that requires expertise and training. There are dedicated artists specialized in pixel art, just like in any other styles. No one is forced to love pixel art, but it's good to know its objective benefits and reasons why it isn't a bad thing. Pixel art doesn't have to be ugly and infantile. It can also be dark, realistic to a certain degree, subtle, and beautiful. If you still feel unconvinced, it's fine. It might just not be your cup of tea. At least you know why someone would like it. Do you think pixel art will be around in 10 or 20 years, or it will vanish for the sake of 3D and photorealism? Let me know in the comments and I'll pin the best one. Throughout this video we explored what pixel art is, how it differs from other techniques, and some cases in which it's superior to high-resolution graphics. If you have any other examples of games like these, feel free to leave a comment. And if anyone calls pixel art ugly or outdated, show them this video. See you next time.